Good evening, teacher and classmate. I am Monica from Group 7, and it was such a pleasure to have these great experiences as a video presentation. In our presentation, we mainly focus on the last chapter known as Chapter 13 in the Village by the Sea. And in our group, we have 4 members such as Bong Li Cheng, Bong Pek Kadai, Bong Mongkol, and as well as me. Before we begin our presentation, let us introduce the introductions a bit more for you. The Village by the Sea was written by an Indian writer known as Anita Desaix, and it was first published in 1982. In this chapter, we have noticed that they have 9 characters, and in this book, it included some genres such as novel, non-fictions, and young adult fictions. So, let's move on to our 5 main events that we have listed in our chapter summaries. The story first tells us that Harry came back and went to Ali Beg to take his mother back home. He accidentally met his old friend Ramu, and luckily Ramu also traveled to the same destination. Along the way there, they discuss about some stuff that they haven't met each other for a long time. After arriving at Ali Beg, Harry bought what his sister wanted and went straight to the hospital to see his mother. He would never expect that he met both of his father and his recovered mother, and the doctor also agreed to bring her back home. Doctor also told him that his mother needed to have every month checked up, and to be fully recovered, she needs to follow every doctor instruction. After spending several months in hospital, Harry's mother finally came back home, and the whole family laughed, cried with joy, and lighted fireworks and bonfire together. After that, Harry and his siblings went back to their mother and listened to the tale of Diwali story. Then, it was the first time they noticed that their father felt sorry for Pinto and his wrong act in the past. After Diwali gone, it was the Hindu New Year day that everyone were busy decorating their home, but Harry got nothing to do, so he went to see Sayyid Ali. They talked, and Harry recognized that he was the one who giving a speech at the Black House. They discussed about the issue coming into their village, and they already knew that they lost it. Sayyid expressed why he loved the freedom in the bird life, and Harry told him about his future plan. After discuss with Sayyid Ali, Harry came back home and took his sibling to the beach. After arriving at the beach, the bullock cart race started to begin, and people were cheering for Biju because he's won, helping the fishermen from drowning. So people start celebrating their closeness that day. After the race, Harry saw a group of women walk down the beach to the 3 rocks, and he was so surprised that among them there was his mother too.
Hello teacher, I'm Jim Lee Chang. I'll be explaining the main themes of the last chapter, which is chapter 13, and I have picked 2 quotes for psychoanalytic criticism. Well, when you look at the slide, we can see there are 4 main themes, such as family, responsibility, awakening, and adaptation. First, family. Well, family is really important for providing comfort and support. As we can see, Harry and Leela are extremely caring for the family as they take care of their parents and the sibling. As for the responsibility, each one of them has their own duty in which they have to perform. In fact, Harry and Leela are mostly responsible for taking care of the whole family, and Harry's father is responsible for taking care of his wife. And also during the two festivals, Diwali and Hindu New Year's Day, everybody performed different tasks to celebrate Harry's mom homecoming and to enjoy the festival together. Next, it's an awakening, the freedom. Well, seem like it seemed like to be the main theme of the story. However, as Harry had a conversation with Sajid Ali, who is a bird watcher, about bird freedom, so I decided to put it in. And lastly, the adaptation, which is the main theme of the last chapter, as well as the whole story too, because in the last chapter, Harry had a conversation with his old friend Ramu about getting a job in a factory that will be built into in the future. So, however, this is not the first conversation about adaptation, because Harry also had a conversation with Mr. Panwala in Mumbai too. So back to the adaptation. It is the change of the environment. So every living organism that stay in it will change too. Well, the change, it doesn't mean for the better, it can be also for the worse. So in order to adapt to the environment, they have to change their activity, also their change behavior. Okay, as for psychoanalytic criticism, I chose two. The first one is on the slide, which is on page and 145. This is where Ramu and Harry haven't had a conversation for a very long time, and they bump into each other while going to the same destination. They had a conversation while riding bike together. Now let's look at the instinct. You may not know exactly the instinct in here, but if you read the last chapter, you may find it. So the instinct, Harry would go back to get more money as the factory hasn't built yet. Sorry, hasn't been built yet. So go? Why not go back and work there, right? And come back when the factory has been built. And as for the Supigo, though he would not go because of the family um, family responsibility. He cared for his family, he worried for his family, and also for the adaptation, which is um, he planned further ahead everybody else into, so that he can maximize the benefit he gain in the future. And for the ego, so the ego, he stay because of um, the idea he get from Mr. Penwala about the change of his mindset about adaptation. So I think the superego has more influence than instinct here. And let's move on to the next quote. Okay, for those who haven't finished the story yet, this is where Harry told everybody to go out on the beach and light a bonfire and celebrating the Valley Festival together. So this is where Lila replied to Harry when Harry asked everybody to go out on the beach. We will watch from here. It's too windy on the beach from you can find it on page 150. So everybody is enjoying themselves, whereas Lila is caring for her mom. He did not go with the sibling to have fun. So we can identify the it and the subico here. So the it Lila would spend time with the sibling and have fun with them and left the parent behind, especially Lila's mom. As for the superego, it is the responsibility and love for her mom. So finally, Lila stay behind with her parents or mom, especially when her mom just got off from the hospital. Thus, the superego has more influence than the other. So this is it for me, and let's move on to the last presenters.
Good evening, teacher, and good evening, everyone. I am Baek Day, and it is the last part of our presentation. And the part that we will present is about the connection between the study text and the real life. We have divided this part into 2 points. The first point we will present about religion, which is presented by me, and the last part is about the change and adaptation, which is presented by Mukul. As we know, India has a lot of religious festivals which are celebrated to worship their god. Among them, Diwali is one of the most popular festivals of Hinduism, which is known as the Hindu Festival of Light. In the story, it is celebrated among Indians in the belief. Moreover, in the story, Harry's mother told her children about Diwali that the light will show the way to Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth, so that she will visit our house too and not miss it in the dark. Meanwhile, Karma seriously said that it is Harry Bai who has brought us wealth. In this point, Karma raised up her ideas and responds to her mothers that Harry is the one who brings their families money. It is not Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, that visit their house and brings them money. But Harry, her brother, is the one who explored himself alone in Bombay to find a job and save money and come back to support their family. Now, if we look back to the real life situation of the Indian, their beliefs still remain and they still steadily celebrate Diwali. Also, if we talk about the current society in Cambodia, there are many religious festivals which are celebrated to the Buddhism and their ancestors. The thing that most Cambodian people pray for is being wealthy whenever they worship. Even though it is a part of their belief, their family member and themselves do not rely on 100% and do nothing for their life. In contrast, they try to find it by themselves and are not waiting for help. Like in the story, Harry brought their family wealth. So, if we to our current societies, it means that even those people still remains their belief, but they are not depend on it 100% and waiting for the help from God. But they try to help themselves to find it, to find what they want. And the value idea in the story is that even though we still believe in God. But we need to help ourselves first.
And here we will discuss Harry's life in truth after returning from Mumbai. In the story, when he had a conversation with Ramu, he had an idea of changing himself. He wanted to stay in Seoul and try to work there. In addition, when Harry had a conversation with Sahid, he told him that he would buy some chickens, build chicken coops in his field, start a poultry farm, sell eggs in the village, and chicken to the rich people who will come to Seoul once the factory is finished. And so, he will live for a while. Also, he wanted to set up a watchmending shop after that. As mentioned above, it shows that Harry is going to change his idea of earning money in Mumbai and getting himself adapted to the environment in Seoul. He does not go back to the city, but he works in his village to earn money. Back to reality, we can look at the COVID-19 case as an example. We know this virus is dangerous for everyone. It brings many changes in the society as well as ourselves. In fact, the widespread of this epidemic forces humans to protect ourselves by wearing human masks, gloves, spraying gels, and many other practices to prevent it from affecting us, like social distancing. Otherwise, we would have been dead already. So, this example shows the change of human activities and adaptability during the disease crisis. For another example in the reality, we can talk about studying two majors in two different universities. For instance, a first-year college student who finished the 2 semesters at one major, and he or she decided to enroll one more major as a secondary degree for a better future. However, adding more university will double the time spent focused and concentration on studying both majors. So he or she has to change his or her schedule and adapt to new changes, otherwise he or she would not be able to spend wisely.